everyday thing. It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang.
Ring. Glad y'all answered the FaceTime on the first ring because I did not want to have to call y'all back. It is Sunday, May the 17th, 7:56 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I am already back at home from New Orleans, from attending Keith Lee's Family Day. Yeah, it was never in the plans for us to be back this early at all, but once I get irritated and I start thinking about things, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. The cocktail was no longer cocktailing. I am ready to go. So we're home already, okay? Now, I know some people are going to comment out of emotion as opposed to logic and common sense. If you didn't spend any money to go, I don't care about your opinion. If you did spend your money to go and you enjoyed yourself, that is wonderful. But this is my experience. When it comes to our people, I give us grace. The first 2 times, I'm going to give us grace because I know how hard things are for us. Things don't come to us easy at all, right? And even though it may not be somebody's intent to say certain things that may come off negatively, it can definitely change the trajectory of future events or future support. So I'm going to make this video with grace. I'm gonna make it with grace. At the end of the day, I still support the brother. As long as future events are planned and executed differently. There are things that I expected, right? I expected to be hot. The event is outside. I expected for seating to be limited. It said it under frequently asked questions, which, by the way, y'all know that I'm a reader. I'm going to read everything in its entirety because I do not like surprises. I like to be prepared. Not only do I like to be prepared, I sent an email asking for clarity on something because I wanted to be overly prepared. You feel me? So I expected to be hot. I expected for seating to be limited. I knew that you cannot bring any like lawn chairs in there, no outside food or drinks. I knew there was going to be a line, not only a line to stand in to get in the event, but also a line of cars to be able to park. I knew there was going to be a long walk. I knew these things because I did my research prior to us going. But what I did not know is that when you decide to purchase the most expensive ticket that was being offered, which is VIP plus chef's table, I didn't know that what was supposed to be included in the package was not going to be delivered. I didn't know that purchasing t-shirts about a week prior to the event that you were not going to receive them. I didn't know that either. You know my slogan, I don't know everything, but I know a lot about a little bit, and I don't share everything on socials, but one thing that I do know, and you can ask anybody that has known me for 10 plus years, I know events, and I'm not talking about events of 50 people, 100, 500, 1,000. I'm talking about events that have a large number of people that are coming, and whenever you are hosting an event as such, or your name is attached to an event as such of that magnitude, you need to make sure that you have people that know how to manage, coordinate, and execute. That is going to either break or make your event. Yeah, you may make a lot of money off of the event. You may have a good turnout the first time, but people are going to be reluctant to purchase tickets the second time. I'm going to try to go in order, and let's start with parking. Of course, you're going to have people that are going to be guiding and directing the people that are coming and telling them where to park at. Well, for us, there was really no coordination because you have one person on the left telling us to come this way, and then you have one person on the right telling us to come this way, which was kind of confusing. So where would you like for us to park at? Oh, go down there. You see the man down there? Which man? Because there's a couple men that we can see from down there. Oh, the one with the black shirt on. Well, they all appear to have a black shirt on. So which man are you talking about? Okay, whatever. We finally get parked. Now we're going to the entrance, which, by the way, VIP had a separate entrance from the general public. Okay, so we get there to clear security. Now, again, y'all know that I'm a reader, so I've already, read everything under the frequently asked questions. The young lady tells me that my bag cannot come in. I was like, why not? Because it has to be clear. My bag is clear, but it is fluorescent. But if you look at my bag, you can see what's inside of it. And it's too big. I didn't have on a huge bag. I mean, the bag was probably like this size or whatever. And I was like, And she was like, oh, and she can't bring that bag in here because it's not clear at all. Talking about Pink's bag. So I was like, okay, all right. But that wasn't on the, it wasn't under the frequently asked questions. But hey, okay, whatever. So we turn around so we can go walk all the way back to the car to put, the bags, whatever, in the car. But then I thought about it and I was just like, nah. Let me go back. So we go back. It's somebody else that's standing there. And I said, what would be the issue with my bag coming in? It's clear. Do you not see what's in the bag? Like, are you able to see it? And the lady was like, yeah, actually was in the bag. And she puts the bag up there. She said, oh, well, hers got to go back because it's too big. So hers needs to go back to the vehicle because it's too big, not because it's not clear. Which, by the way, Pink bag was not clear at all. And she was like, yeah, it's too big. I said, well, that doesn't make any sense because her bag is actually smaller than my bag. So I took my bag back and I took Pink bag from her and I put it up and I said, see, you see, Pink bag is like this, was like this. My bag is like this, right? She was like, oh, okay, yeah, come on through. While we're standing there, they're telling somebody else that their bag can't come in. But the lady pulls it up and she shows them. It's nowhere on here that it says that the bag has to be cleared to come in. The officer tells her, oh, yeah, they just gave us this information 15 minutes ago, which I knew I wasn't crazy because it was not on there. It was not on there, right? And I didn't even think at the time when I read through this information more than one time, the screenshot that I didn't think that it was necessary, but I know it was not on there. And I know that when you are able to like go in and adjust things on your site, then you can go back and, make some changes or whatever. But even when the lady behind us pulled it up, it was not there that the bag had to be clear. Okay. So nobody's on the same accord with anything. And while some of you all are telling us that we can't bring our bags in, you have other people that have huge bags that are not clear at all in lawn chairs that are still going inside of this event. Okay. All right. Again, I don't expect everything to be perfect the very first time. But again, are there not any Migos or anything around Louisiana that couldn't come out there and make sure that the grounds were up to par? Yeah, I had no intentions on walking through a forest. Now, I'm not saying the grass was up to my knees, but it damn sure was past my ankle. And there was a lot of mud. Y'all couldn't get that together. Like, who wants to step in this shit? Who wants to do this? All right, so fuck it. Sneakers got to go in the trash. It is what it is, right? I'm under the impression that if you're in a VIP section, VIP plus chef's table, you're going to have a different experience from those that purchase just general admission or from those that just purchase VIP. I was having a little taste of this or that from the Ethiopian chef. There wasn't much of a difference. I actually thought that the general admission section, because you were able to go over there, they had more to offer as far as vendors go. I'm not blaming him for the drinks being nasty or anything like that because you have no control over how they fix these drinks. But did y'all just give us a cup of water, a few cubes of ice, and add some liquor on top? Because I threw that shit right in the trash. Now, I know I said that I wasn't going to be drinking outside of the house anymore, but I had already planned to have a drink or 5 out there because this has been something that has been planned, for a couple of months now. But yeah, that shit went straight in the trash. Expect it to be hot. Like I said, I was prepared. I even had my little hand fan and all of that. I didn't expect to have to stand up almost the entire time. I know that seating was on a first come, first serve, but again, if you're going to allow the people to have the same experience of those that paid for VIP chef's table, then it really was no point for you to even have a different price for the tickets. You could have had more seating. More seating would have worked. That was not at all enough seating. Granted, some people will purchase tickets and won't be able to make it to an event because things do happen and things do come up. But by the amount of tickets that you have already sold, that is how you base the number of seating that you're going to need. So, of course, if you have 1,000 people, for an example, you're not going to have 1,000 chairs, right? But you need to at least have enough to cover VIP chef's table. That's a given. Not one per person, but enough. And it wasn't enough, okay? Now let's talk about the experience of having VIP chef's table. So they're allowing us to enter into that area 15 minutes before. They told us to be there 15 minutes before. We go in about 7 minutes after. Okay, cool, whatever. As we're going in, they're giving us each a bottle of Niagara water. That's what they're giving us. And I'm thinking, we've been standing in line for a minute. So this is just, a little razzle dazzle to cool us off. Okay, cool. It does tell you when you purchase that ticket that you will have assigned seating. When we get inside, there is no assigned seating. You sit wherever you want to sit. But if you have a food allergy, per the day laborers, do not sit at the tables that are closest to the stage. So we sat wherever, okay? The chef, I ain't gonna lie. I think he did as good as he can do, trying to keep us informed and entertained about what we were gonna be tasting. However, there are some items that some people received that we didn't receive. And why is this family? I know it's family day, but it shouldn't be family style because these are a bunch of strangers at the end of the day. And we didn't all come from the same household. Serving us food on a like a board, like the empanadas, for instance, that has sauce on it. Like, are we supposed to, as strangers, get and then double dip? Like, it didn't make any sense. It was unsanitary to do that or have the expectation of us even dipping our empanada back in that sauce. They're strangers. It didn't make any sense, right? It didn't make any sense. For an experience of such, I don't know if y'all have ever experienced what a chef experience is supposed to be like, but babes, of course, after being out there for so long, you hot. That bottle of Niagara was cool and everything, but I was thinking we was gonna have a little something to drink. What drink? That was your drink. Ain't no more. Ain't no more. Ain't no more. So there was no additional beverages being served. Your water, that's what you're gonna get with your food. Okay. If I would have known that, I would have just poured a little bit in a cap, and I wouldn't have drank my water so quick. I wouldn't have drank my water so quick. Meet and greet was supposed to be included. I'm assuming that we were supposed to be meeting the chef, because if you're paying that amount of money for a ticket and it says meet and greet, who do you think that you're gonna meet? Don't get me wrong. The chef was cool and everything, but I didn't come here for you. I didn't come here for you. And I do think that if you're going to have a chef's table, you probably should tell people in advance the type of food that they're going to be having, like the culture that it comes from. Because I feel sorry for anybody who purchased that ticket and had absolutely no interest in Ethiopian food. Now, me personally, I enjoy, Ethiopian food. But just imagine paying for that ticket and having no idea whatsoever that you're going to be eating Ethiopian food, and that's not what your palate enjoys at all. On top of having that swallow of water and not experiencing everything that was on the course of the menu. Okay, you have people that are serving, but there's no coordination. So I think there were like maybe three or four rows of tables lined up. You should have had servers assigned to each section, right? But that's not what it was. They were bumping into each other like the Stooges. So some people were getting food, some people were not getting food. You're skipping over some people. It just wasn't making any sense. Like, it wasn't making any sense at all. And then to feel like a 9-5 because I have to scarf whatever food down you've given me quickly. Yeah. Why are we rushing? Like, I didn't realize that we were going to be rushed. Like, yeah. Okay. Mind you, I was already irritated because I have said several times before here on this app, if you see me anywhere, an event, food shopping, Chick-fil-A, I don't care. The only thing I don't like for people to do is automatically come up to me and start touching me because I have PTSD. What are you doing, right? But if you come up to me and you speak to me, I'm going to speak back because I put my pants on the same way you put your pants on. I'm very approachable. I just don't like for people to automatically touch me because I don't know like who you are. Like I just, my mind just does a little something else. So I was already irritated because there was a few people that was like sneaking pictures, and I knew I wasn't crazy. I knew I wasn't crazy. But one person was trying so hard to like be incognito, but they was not. So I'm irritated because like I don't know what the purpose of that was. It was giving very much creep. You feel me? So I'm already annoyed because why do you keep doing, like, you are purposely trying to do this at this point, and the group of people, y'all keep turning around, looking and staring, pointing, and then you going this way to. Okay. All right. Let's wrap this shit up. Okay. So now it's time to get up and get on out of there, right? Because we were 9-5. So you got, a limited amount of time that whatever you have, you better hurry up. And then there was the empanada that I didn't have an opportunity to really eat or enjoy because somebody's coming. Oh, I'm gonna take this. But no, damn, you trying to take it to the house with you or something? Give me a second. I'm not even finished. But like, here, whatever. Just go ahead and take it. There was t-shirts that Pink purchased like a week and a half ago, and they told us to come at 2 to get the t-shirts, then come back at 2:30, then come back at 3, then 3:30. It was the same thing every time. Oh, they're on their way. We don't know when they're going to arrive. We don't have an ETA, but they're on their way. Our time for Chef's Table was at 4 o'clock. So we were already, just in line standing there 30 minutes before. By the time we get up there to go inside, Pink is like, are the t-shirts here so we can go there? Oh, no, they're on their way. So when we got finished and we wrapped that shit up, they were still on their way. By the time we left 7 o'clock, they were still on their way. So, of course, y'all know I'm going to go ahead and get this email together because we never got these shirts that was paid for in advance. And the response is you have to get with the vendor. Get with what vendor? We're getting with whom we paid for these shirts. This is how the order was made. It was paid for. What vendor do we need to get with? I just hope that if there's another family day in the future, that professionals are hired to manage, coordinate, execute, have things there on time. The grounds are going to be well maintained. It's not just going to be some day laborers that are hired, which, by the way, I don't know if they were day laborers, but like I said, that was what it was giving. It was not what I expected it to be at all. I didn't expect it to be perfect, but for the amount of money that we paid for those tickets, including the insurance that we added to those tickets, which, by the way, I know is optional, on top of the travel, hotel, all of this other stuff that we prepped and prepared for in advance. Yes, I was expecting a pleasant experience. It was an experience. It just wasn't, it wasn't the one that I was expecting. Like, my expectations wasn't even here, but they would. Yeah, well, that's my experience. I just bye, y'all.
That was a lot. That was a lot. I mean, she gave us a full detail of how she did not have a good experience with the family day. And, look, like I said, those events prior to Keith Lee doing this first event on his own. He had to go out and get these people himself to put this event on, which I'm sure he had plenty meetings uh regarding this. I remember he first announced it. I know this was one of his first time. He was like, "This is the first time I'm gonna do something this big himself." So because he's done family, he's done these events before, but it's been with other entities, which they were the full force on how everything was planned. And there may have been some things that he didn't like about how those events were planned that didn't suit him, because if they're paying him, then that means he has certain obligations that he has to adhere to. And then when things don't go right, then it's his name that everybody holds on to. So when they say Family Day hosted by Keith Lee, and there'll be food and vendors and stuff, and you're like, oh, this is a Keith Lee event. And then when things don't go right, you blame Keith Lee, and he's like, well, I mean, I didn't put the event on, I was just hosting. But you could kind of say it's my event because I was the main attraction. But then again, he was like, okay, well, I'm gonna stop doing events with these people, because if I'm going to take the criticism, I'm going to do it. And I think that's what he's doing now. I don't think he's sitting back taking, like, saying, oh, these people are wrong, none of this stuff can be fixed. I mean, they're wrong, they don't know what they're talking about. I believe wholeheartedly that he knows these things can be fixed. As far as the wet grass and mud, it is freaking May, okay? What happens in May? April showers, May flowers. You gonna have some rain. It's been raining all through Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana. It's been raining all through here. So you got some rain down there, all right? So it's mud everywhere. I could go in my backyard right now. My ground is soft. It rained this morning, and it rained last night. It rained yesterday. You know, so to say that it wouldn't rain, or the ground was wet and muddy and you had to throw away your sneakers. That's why when I go to like things like Juneteenth at the park, or what day is that? It's a day everybody goes to this 4th Street Park. And I never wear good shoes out there. I wear decent shoes, but I never wear my good shoes out there. Unless, like, if we're going to Scissortail Park, which is downtown Oklahoma City, to listen to the live music, I'll wear some decent shoes out there, but I won't wear my good shoes. You never know what the grass is gonna be like out there, and then somebody might be walking the dog and not pick up the poop, and you step in some crap. You know what I mean? It be like that sometimes. Yeah. So he said his first time accept his apology, and I get that too. Like, you know, I'm not always happy with the stuff I get to eat. Like, I just don't get on social media and talk about it. Like, I'ma just be honest. 2 years ago, I went to the Dallas Cowboys game. I went to the Dallas Cowboys and the Detroit Lions game. We got our asses whooped by the Detroit Lions. It was like the section I was in. It was like it was nothing but Detroit Lions fans, and I was like, "What did they all get on a Reddit group and decide to buy this whole section out? Like, what happened?" It was just loud with Detroit fans, and I was like, "This is crazy," and I was not pleased just with that right there. And then not only that, Jerry Jones decides, I want to put the stadium where the sun comes in the damn building. So as I'm looking this way, the sun is just beaming back towards me. And I'm like, this is not This is not pleasant at all. Okay. Not only that, if y'all think the Houston rodeo was bad, y'all should have seen the dress people how they was dressed at the Dallas Cowboys game. Okay, and I was with a woman, so I couldn't even look. I was just sitting over there like, damn. Look, I was like looking at all at it. Damn. Yeah, I was with a group of people. But yeah, one of them was with a woman. But anyway, it was lit though. But it's still at the same time, you know. You see all this stuff, man. See all this stuff, all these events, and they not put on right. You just gotta chalk it up. Like how many people got kids that have basketball tournaments? These basketball tournaments, some of them have tournaments all the time. Some of them are yearly. And the fact that it was last year. Last year we paid thousands of dollars to go to Florida, right? Thousands. We played like 4 games. 4 games. I said we not playing in this tournament no more. I refuse to come to this tournament for 4 games. Thousands of dollars. We're here for a week. We actually here for 2 extra days because I mean everything's paid up, I'm already off work. There's no reason for me to go back home. This is vacation now. Absolutely no reason to. So we just stayed at our hotel. Like we got a hotel, but the team had an Airbnb. So we just stayed at the hotel. The hotel was at a resort. It was nice. I'm actually going back because it was so nice. But the thing is, that tournament was so poorly managed that they didn't tell us that. If I would have known, we would have got the 3 pool play games, and then the next game was just you had to win out. If you lost, you was done. There was no double elimination. I would have been reluctant to pay that much or invest that much into going to that tournament. I would have been. I wouldn't have been. So, had she known that this would have been such a disaster, she might not spend the money she spent. It seems that the people who had the general admission got the most bang for their buck. So, what does that tell you, people? Stop trying to be bougie. Fill it out. And then next year, you were like, all right, you know what? Next time, I'm going to just fall out. But if you would have paid $70 like everybody, like the general admission people, and then notice what everybody else had to go through, you would have been like, all right, you know what? I'm glad I didn't waste no money because everybody who only spent $70, they ain't had nothing bad to say. In fact, we're going to get to that next one. Let me know what y'all think about this one in the comment section.
Day and night. For some women, it can start working in as fast as 1 week.